Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you part 2 of What If Naruto Was Sent to the Spider-Man Universe. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new so I can welcome you personally. And don't forget I indeed have 4 channels that I post what if on every single day. Anime King, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, and Anime Prince. So go ahead and check out those and enjoy guys. And don't forget to comment down below and tell me if you're new so I can reply and talk back to all of you. So without further ado or wasting more time, what do you say we jump right into this brand new episode? Begin now guys. So, the last time we left off, Richard Parker was going towards the savannah to gather something with his friend. As they were doing some deep research, Richard and his wife had been going through a lot. Both him and Mary lost their child. Losing a child was hard on someone. A new family, it was, extremely hard. As he didn't even get to know his child. So yeah, the both of them had been in some sort of depression. He chose to focus on his work, as she on the other hand was going through the house. As it was a lot on her, she cried several times, holding on to a stuffed teddy bear or something that they would have given a child. Richard focused as him and his friend made his way. It wasn't long before they arrived towards the savannah. They were going to build something known as a suit. Unknown to them, they found an alien symbiote. However, this was a genetic powerful substance that could utilize and bring forward new sorts of cures and healing for the human body, as they want to use it to build a suit, something that could help mankind. However, Richard ended up falling into a cave. Arriving down there, the place was enveloped by a light. That is when he saw a woman and a man. The man was behind her as there was a gaping hole through the both of them, like something had stabbed them. However, what they were holding was a boy. The man had died instantly. His life was already forfeited, but the woman, she was still clinging on to life. She looked up towards Richard. As she looked into his eyes, judging his character before she begged him, she talked in a tone that he could not understand, her language. It sounded Japanese, but it was different. As he saw what she was motioning to, he took the boy. As she ended up passing away, he looked down towards the boy with bright blue eyes and blonde hair. In her tone he heard her say Naruto. That must be his name, Naruto. He decided to take the child as he brought him home. He told his wife and his brother everything, and his brother wife as well, as they spoke about taking Naruto as their own. It seems like it was helping his wife greatly as Naruto held her hand, and her spirit seemed to lift. They will never forget about their unborn child, Peter Parker. However, Naruto will be brought into the family as Naruto Parker. Years passed after that as Naruto was trying to play hide and seek with his father, but his father had got a call. Naruto went into his father's study as he heard something tumbling down. His father arrived to see the place a mess, but it wasn't Naruto that caused this. Him and his wife quickly looked for something as they found it. It was a hard drive. However, the others, they were gone. They quickly packed their stuff and Naruto's as they brought him toward his aunt and uncle. As they quickly proceeded to say their goodbyes, the both of them had tearful eyes. It was hard, leaving him behind, but they had to run. They were mixed up into some real shady things, and it was now gonna cost them their time away from their son. As Naruto said goodbye to his parents, being strong for them. However, they did not make it. Their plane that they were on was brought down. All passengers had died. 12 years later, Naruto was now 16 as he made his way to school. as Naruto wasn't really that popular, but he was one of the smartest. There was always Flash Thompson trying to bully him, but Naruto was one to put Flash in his place with his words. He also had his best friends Mary Jane and also Harry Osborn. As Harry loved that Naruto did not see him as the money bags as other people saw him, he just saw him as normal Harry. And MJ was Naruto's best friend. She had a crush on him, but she never really tried to take advantage of that. She knew that Flash, girlfriend before she had been with Flash, had a crush on Naruto as well. Naruto was handsome with blonde hair and blue eyes that stand out and a jawline, and the girl said that his whisker marks made him look feral and cute. They were going towards a rather famous place tomorrow, Oscorp to be exact, where there was different scientists and machines that Naruto was obsessed about. However, there were some people that were trying to get information regarding Naruto's parents' work. However, they could not, unaware that Naruto had all of these documents, him himself not knowing that, as Naruto had took after his father in this world, loving science as he took after both of his parents. He missed them so much. However, he will try to finish their work as a sign to them that he could make them proud. As his Aunt May always teased him about Mary Jane, as she told him that people's feelings could change. However, Naruto doubted because they were just friends. But her words really got to him though, as he arrived tomorrow. Arriving, Naruto was able to stand out as he spoke about the things in the lab, as the guide was very impressed, so young and yet so intelligent. However, today would be a big day that would change his life forever. A spider got loose, a genetic spider that was mixed with radioactive substance. As the thing came down on Naruto as he walked, it then proceeded to bit into his neck. Naruto got a spasm as he cried out. Everyone turned their gaze towards him as Naruto proceeded to drop down to the ground, Mary and the others rushing over towards him. However, everything went black for Naruto very soon. So yeah guys, basically that's what I thought. If you guys can switch across the place, check it for yourself. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the other what ifs of the other channels. Yes, 4 channels that I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So yeah, without further ado or wasting any more time, what do you say we jump right into this new episode? Begin now guys. Naruto groaned as his senses came back to him. He raised a hand to his head. His head felt like it was pounding like a drum. Damn, what in the hell happened, Naruto thought to himself. As he waited for the pounding to clear, the last thing he remembered was being bitten by a spider and then immense pain and then darkness. Grunting, he pulled himself up, holding his head. Damn spider. It better had not been poisonous. That would suck. He then remembered hearing Mary Jane calling out to him before he blacked out. Crap, she must be scared to death. Not to mention Uncle Ben and Aunt May if they were told. I better find them and let them know that I'm okay. As Naruto realized other than the headache, he did not feel any pain. He must have been given an antidote of sorts if it was indeed poisonous. He massaged his head as he blinked when he felt a strange wetness on his butt and back. Blinking as he heard a sloshing sound. It sounded like water. That is when he glanced up as he saw. His eyes widened. Last he recalled he was in Oscorp Science Center. So where the hell was he? Looking around, Naruto saw that he was in some sort of large sewer. What the hell was going on? Oh my god, Naruto thought. Did they think I was dead because of the radioactive spider and dump my body in the sewers to cover their tracks, just like in the movies? No way would they do that. At least he hoped. As he looked down to realize he was in sewer water. Quickly getting up, he brushed the back of his pants to try to dry them for a bit, only to blink in confusion when he felt that they were completely dry. Not a wet spot to be found. He looked around confused, even more so. Is this a dream, he thought, rubbing the back of his head. The sewer was big and wide, as big as his room. There were large pipes lining the wall, and looking at them he saw that they were emitting a strange glow. There were 2 sets, pipes that glow yellow, and another larger one that glowed a deep red. They ran the walls, heading into the dark shadow in front of him. Where the hell am I? Said Naruto, looking around. As he glanced upwards, all he saw was endless darkness. Not a ceiling in sight. He closed his eyes. If this was a dream, then he should be able to wake up. He then snapped his eyes back open and he was still in the sewer, causing him to grunt and grab his ear in frustration. That is when he heard a growl. as he jumped, hearing the inhuman growl. Looking around nervously, he tried to figure out where the growl came from. However, he had no such luck. Gulping, he cautiously started to move forward. It was best not to stay in one spot, with whatever was making that noise around. As he walked, hoping that he was not accidentally heading towards the beast, he kept an eye out for any exits. Walking in the darkness down to what seemed to be an endless pathway, Naruto got even more nervous. Just where was he? This had to be a dream, right? If so, why the hell wasn't he waking up? It felt like one, as he felt like he was walking for hours upon hours. He was beginning to fear that he would be lost forever as he wandered into the darkness. That is when he could see a small speck of light ahead. Relief filled every fiber of his being as he thought it was a way out of here. As he ran as fast as he could. However, the relief left him as he saw that it was not a way out once he reached. Disappointment filling him, he walked into a chamber. It was as big as inside the science center. It was very spacious. A bit brighter. The room had a glowing yellow view about it. There were walls made of smooth stone, but yet as he saw them, he saw that spider webbing was all over the walls. As there was a lot of small spiders crawling around, making him shiver as he unconsciously rubbed his hands together. Great, just what he needed. More spiders. As Naruto came to a complete stop, when a spider as big as his hand crawled into his path. It did not even look at him though as it moved on, making Naruto raise an eyebrow. As he looked at all the spiders, as he wondered, where the hell was he for there to be so many? Maybe an abandoned sewer plant. Or if this was a dream, it was a weird one. As he kept on looking around until he saw something. There was a cage. A humongous, gigantic cage. Holy shit. I think I just found Godzilla cage, said Naruto. Looking at the massive thing until he heard a growl. Naruto's eyes widened as he realized the sound was coming from inside. As Naruto slowly started to walk backwards, slow calming step away from the cage. There was no way in hell he was messing with what was inside of that cage. I am not going to be lunch for the hopped up steroid sewer gator, said Naruto. Just as he was about to be in a safe zone, he suddenly screamed, screaming in pain as Naruto collapsed down to his knees. It felt like his head was releasing vibrational pulse that was causing him anguish, and it was coming from inside of his brain. He tried to fight through the pain, but it was too much. That is when a thunderous roar broke through his pain, as Naruto was able to look up just enough to see a monster. As a gigantic red eye opened up right behind the bars, Naruto felt fear wash over him as the thing spoke. Boy, I will rip you to shreds and escape this prison. A dreadful feeling smashed down on him. It felt like gravity was crushing his very bones. Even still, Naruto still did not look away from the massive eye. What was that thing? What kind of monster was it? The beast spoke once again. You cannot keep me here forever, Fourth Hokage. I will break free and destroy this pathetic human. Mark my words. Mark my words, he roared. As Naruto blacked out. Time skip. New York hospital. Naruto's eyes snapped open in the hospital as his heart was beating insanely fast. His eyes scanning around the room. His mind completely frozen on what he just saw. That large eye glaring at him and the heavy feeling of death washing over his body. As he gasped for breath, slowly started to calm down as his breath started to get irregular and calming some more. That is when he realized his location. Judging from the medical equipment, he figured that he was in the Anvu. Please let this be real, said Naruto. Just then the door opened up as a young nurse walked in to do her checkup. Looking up, she stopped in her tracks as their eyes connected together. As the two stood there looking at one another, blinking, Naruto raised a hand. Hi, he said. The nurse gasped as she dropped her clipboard and ran out of the room. Naruto blinked in confusion. Was it something I said, he thought to himself. Minutes later, she returned a few doctors. Naruto tried to ask something, but he was ignored as they started to check his vitals. They kept on poking him and flashing light in his eyes. All in all, it was pretty annoying. Luckily they finished and left the room, as Naruto wondered, what the hell was that about? The door opened again a few minutes later, as Naruto smiled when he saw who it was. Aunt May, Uncle Ben, and Mary Jane. The females having tears in their eyes as they looked at him. "Hey guys," said Naruto, before he was tackled into a hug by his best friend and his aunt. As Naruto softened as he heard them crying, he wrapped the both of them in an embrace. His uncle came over and ruffled his blonde hair and smiled at him as Naruto smiled back. Once Mary Jane and Aunt May got a hold of themselves, they sat in chairs beside his bed. "So, what happened?" said Naruto. Mary Jane frowned, her eyes still glittering in tears. "After you got bitten by that spider, you passed out. Your body was twitching and spasming like you were having a seizure. The teacher and the workers called the hospital, and you were rushed over here. You were unconscious for 3 weeks. A lot of the time you spazzed out. I thought that," as she bit her lip. The image of the spasm in Naruto on the floor, his eyes rolled back, would haunt her dreams for many nights. Naruto's eyes widened. 3 weeks? That is when he turned to see a large assortment of gifts gathered. As Aunt May explained, your friends from school all appeared to wish you well. As Naruto saw get well cards, balloons, even a giant teddy bear, as the card said Liz on it. To his surprise though, he saw a gift basket, and on the card it was from Flash. So the big idiot does care, Naruto thought, at his ex-friend and bully. "You had everyone worried sick," Naruto said Ben. "When they got the call, they literally dropped everything and rushed over here as quickly as possible. When they saw Naruto in the hospital bed, twitching like crazy and doctors struggling to hold him down, they feared the worst. It was bad enough that they lost Richard and me. They didn't know if they could last, losing the boy that they loved like their only son." As Naruto frowned as he rubbed the back of his head, he did not mean to worry them. Sure, he didn't have much of a choice to get bitten by the spider, but he hated to make them worry. "Sorry guys," said Naruto, as May simply smiled at him, glad he was okay, as she tightened her hold on him and placed a kiss on the top of his head. All that mattered was that he was okay. "When we get home, I'll make you some oatmeal," she said, making him nod. Once he got a few more checkups from the doctor to make sure everything was working alright, he was free to leave. Other than a big appetite, Naruto felt good. Better even, he felt completely healthy and fit. Once he got home, Naruto ate 3 bowls of oatmeal, 3 pounds of meatloaf, and 5 bowls of ramen, much to his aunt and uncle complete shock. Even though he was given a complete, clean bill of health, Aunt May forbade Naruto from going to school and his lab for the next couple of days. She would have made it a week, but Ben was able to get her to change her mind. So being forced to rest in his bed, Naruto was reading his father's journal, but it was hard to concentrate. His mind kept on going back to that monster. Just what was that about? With a sigh, he shook his head. He's been reading too many comics. As he turned over to his side to take a nap. Time skip. Oscorp. Norman Osborn was a man of business. To him, maintaining his company was top priority. Don't get him wrong, he still loved his wife and son to an extent, but his company had to come first. After all, he spent his life coming to where he is right now, and he had to make sure nothing ruined his hard work. The texts in the lab are showing better progress with the cross-species project, with the addition of a new formula. Sitting behind his desk, Norman listened to the report one of his men gave, as he nodded in satisfaction. Good. Make sure they finish within a month. Let them know that it's crucial the project is 100% producable. Let them know I want it finished, he said. As the man nodded. Of course, sir, he said. There's one more thing to report. Norman nodded. I am not sure if you read the report, but 3 weeks ago, in the science center, one of the students that were taking the tour had an accident with one of the specimens. Norman raised the eyebrow and gestured for him to continue. He was bitten by presumably one of the spiders on display. A Mr. Parker. Norman blinked in surprise. Parker? Do you mean Naruto Parker? He said. As the man nodded, he knew Parker. He was Harry's best friend. He had met Naruto himself the same day Harry did. The kid was on his way home on a rainy day when his bike had broke. It just so happened that him and Harry were on their way home in their limo when they spotted him. Harry made the driver stop and gave Naruto a ride, as he had recognized Naruto from school. Norman could say that he liked Naruto. He was very smart, Not as smart like his father, Richard Parker, who Norman knew very well, but the boy he had a lot of potential. Yes, sir. The spider bit him and made Mr. Parker have a seizure. Calls for medical procedures were needed, and he was transported towards a medical center. I had taken the liberty of making man watch his recovery progress. He was signed out with a healthy bill this morning. Norman frowned. This could be bad publicity for his company. Have all the medical bills covered, and some money transferred into the Parker account. Also, no doubt the news will approach me about this. Have a press conference scheduled. We need to keep our image good. Understood, sir. And keep an eye on Mr. Parker. This may be an accident, or maybe not. Any incident with the Science Center cannot be taken too lightly. 3 days later, Midtown High School. With the aunt issue imprisonment over, Naruto was able to return back to school. However, his day back was one that was uncomfortable. As he walked down the hall, he was given a wide space by the other students. The rumor of his accident spread like a wildfire to the students, everyone giving him weird or concerned looks. Hey, you hear what happened to Naruto? Yeah, people say that he was poisoned by a spider and was taken to the hospital. I heard it's really bad. I heard he almost died. You think he got a disease from the bite? I'm surprised he actually got better and came back to school. He's been in a coma for like 3 weeks. As Naruto sighed at all the talk happening around him, as he arrived towards his locker and slammed his head into it, as if his school life was not bad enough. In middle school, he got into a fight with some bullies who were picking on Mary Jane. It made him very angry and he attacked the boys, who were a few years older than him. The end result was, he got a few bruises. However, the guys were bleeding and part of their bodies were broken, legs and arms. He was then called a freak and a berserker, as he had shown a lot of anger. It was worse because it was his dead parents' anniversary, and he was in a really bad mood. His Uncle Ben had helped him by placing him in boxing classes and martial arts. He would never forget the words Uncle Ben spoke to him. Naruto, I know that life is hard. I also know that you miss your parents very much, but know that they wouldn't want you to cry their loss forever. You know that they want you to keep on moving forward. They will never truly be gone, as long as you remember them and cherish your memories of them. You also cannot let your anger get to you. You have a great mind and heart. I've seen you. You have the power to love and to protect. Like your father, you'd one day be able to help a lot of people. Always remember your heart and mind are your greatest power. And always remember, with great power comes great responsibility. From then on, Naruto would always keep control over his sadness and his anger as well, knowing that it wouldn't be something his parents would want. It worked, but he was still avoided in school. It only changed when he hit puberty and started to grow his looks, and when he started to study seriously to increase his studies as well. Naruto felt a nudge as he turned to see Mary Jane, along with Harry. Glad to see you're back on your feet, Whiskers, MJ said. Glad you're okay, Naruto. You sure had everyone worried, Harry said. As Naruto smiled glad to see his best friends weren't totally avoiding him. Yeah, other than a little headache, I'm totally fine, he said. However, Mary Jane frowned when she heard about the headache. Really? She said. Maybe you should take the day off too. Get some more sleep, she said, as she didn't want him to stress himself out. Don't worry, Red, said Naruto. I'm fine. But it didn't make her feel any better as she looked towards him with a worried gaze. He rolled his eyes before he wrapped the arm around her in comfort. Listen, if I begin to feel worse, I'll head home, okay? Well, not much better. Mary Jane nodded, knowing that Naruto was too much stubborn to take a sick day for his health if he didn't have to. As Harry moved to Naruto's other side as Naruto wrapped an arm around his shoulder too. As the three share a laugh as they move out to head to class. However, Naruto felt a strange sensation, like a buzz in his head, before he pulled the two back as a football sailed right past them and hit a teacher in the back of the head. The teacher shouted in surprise, turning as the teacher saw the three students hunch her down, while Flash had his arm extended, looking out in shock. Mr. Thompson! The teacher shouted, marching towards Flash. While Flash was being scolded, Naruto's two friends looked towards him. Whoa, nice reflex, Harry said, as Naruto seemed to blink in confusion. Talk about luck. It's like you knew Flash was about to hit us. How'd you do that, MJ said, as Naruto blinked once again. I have no idea, he said. Deciding to put the strange event behind them, they went to class. Sitting there, as they try not to fall asleep as the teacher droned on and on and on. However, for Naruto it was much more harder for him. As Naruto massaged his aching head, it felt like an earthquake was rumbling inside of his skull. And was it just him or was the teacher talking very very loud even though he was in the back of the classroom? From where he was sitting it was like the teacher was right in his face shouting. But not only him. Tick, tick, tick. Naruto glanced towards the clock. Buzz, buzz. As a fly flew around, he heard the clicking of the pen. As Naruto's eyes looked around, seeing the fly push past him at slow, incredibly slow speed. He could even see the wings, before time seemed to return back to normal state. As Naruto grabbed his head, as he started to feel pain once more. Everything was so loud, the tapping, the screeching, everything was so loud. As he tried to drown the noise out. Naruto, Naruto, Naruto. Naruto shot his head up, all the noise vanished. Just like that. As Naruto saw the whole class, they were all looking at him. He saw Mary Jane looking at him in concern, Flash struggling to hold back his laughter, the teacher looking at him with disappointment and concern as well. Mr. Parker, while you may be one of the smartest students in school, it gives you no right to daydream in class. As Naruto chuckled sheepishly and rubbed the back of his head. Sorry about that, Mrs. Parkskin, he said. May I be excused to the restroom for a bit? I need to clear my head for a bit. As the teacher nodded, knowing about his accident not too long ago. Okay, but if you're not feeling good, go to the nurse's office. Nodding, Naruto stood up as he gave Mary Jane a soft smile. He then left. Walking through the empty halls, Naruto had to stop as he leaned against the lockers. As he looked towards the back of his hand, where the spider had bit him. As he cradled his hand, he felt pins and needles in his arm. As he took steady deep breaths. Today was just not his day. That is when he heard growling, as Naruto spun around but nothing was there. Pathetic virus. Naruto blinked. What? What was that? As he heard that clearly. However, he did not see anyone. As Naruto looked around. As Naruto turned before he felt another wave of pain. Unknown to him, his eyes turned red with slits. His nails extended, his fangs extended as well. Before they returned back to normal. This may prove to be interesting. Amusing, to be exact. Let's see if you can live through this. Maybe if you do, I'll have some entertainment. Who are you? Said Naruto. Hearing voices, but yet he was not receiving an answer to his questions. Feeling another jolt, Naruto realized that he was on the ground. As he pulled himself up, it proved difficult and exhausting, but he made it to his feet. As his eyes make out the exit, he made his way towards it. A part of him told him to get to the nurse's office to get help, but another told him to get out of there. He needed to get out of there. The walls felt too close, boxing him in. He needed air, he couldn't breathe. Pushing open the doors, the sun hit him. As Naruto staggered forward, his vision blurry, when he heard beep, beep. It was the honk of a car. Naruto turned as the car was about to hit him until he blurred away. To him, everything was a blur. Naruto blinked as he saw the car driving. What the hell? Wait, Naruto then realized he was across the street. But that wasn't possible. And Naruto realized he was stuck to the building. His hand literally. What the hell? His hand held onto the building and yet he was not falling. His feet holding onto it as well. There was no grip, he was just holding on. What the hell is going on? He thought to himself. As Naruto wondered, was he a mutant? Was that how he was able to do this? No, that can't be. Wait, got it? As he then looked towards his hand, he remembered the spider biting him. Cross, species genetics. The words echoed through his mind. As he remembered telling Mary Jane everything. The spider, DNA, mixing, cross species. Naruto's mind whirled as he realized. The lab. The spider bites. Radioactive. Holy crap, Naruto yelled. That is when he came unstuck. However, Naruto leaped out and grabbed onto a pole, flipping himself back on the roof. What the hell? As Naruto balanced himself on the edge, looking down, his eyes widened. However, he didn't feel like he would fall as he fell back, on his butt on top of the roof. Quickly picking himself up, Naruto made his way towards the fire escape. Time skip. Naruto blurred into the house. As his words were so fast, as he rushed down to the lab, he said hi that he was going to make his way down to the lab. Both Aunt May and Uncle Ben blinked towards each other. At the moment Naruto was looking at his blood, he had taken a sample. And he was shocked. His DNA. His DNA was changed. It was like the bite from the spider added something to it. His molecules were different with new cells. Even with his experience in science and biology, he didn't think something like this was possible. Sure, he knew that Oscorp, Dr. Connors and his father worked on something like this, but he thought it was something that would take centuries to accomplish. Then, how am I different, he thought to himself. Placing his hand under the lens, Naruto saw small hairs growing from his fingertip, similar to the hairs on a spider leg that helped them climb a wall. He had them too. Walking to the wall, Naruto gently pressed his finger on it. Giving it a gentle tug, Naruto felt a slight suction. As he pressed his other hand, he pulled himself up. He gasped when he started to crawl up the wall. He was actually defying gravity and his weight by climbing up with just his hands and feet. As Naruto was on top of the ceiling, there was only one thought in his mind. I gotta tell MJ. Time skip. Mary Jane and Naruto were best friends. Since first grade they had been inseparable. They would always be there for one another, even signing up for the same clubs and activities together. They had long ago promised to never keep a secret away from each other, even if it might be embarrassing. Hell, they were even each other's first kiss. As Naruto remembered, a 12-year-old Naruto and Mary Jane sat uncomfortably at the park. As they turned toward each other, before they closed their eyes and puckered up, as they gave each other a kiss. Once they did, their eyes widened as they separate, as the both of them started to gag. The two would always worry about one another, such in this case, as MJ was making her way towards Naruto's house, a frown in her face. She was really worried when Naruto had grabbed his head in pain in the class. Annie didn't come back after being allowed to go to the restroom. She and Harry had went there, but he was not there. They checked the nurse's office only to be told that he did not show up. With Naruto bag in hand to return to him, she hoped that he instead went home. Along with his Aunt May and Uncle Ben, MJ has always been there for the blonde. She had hoped when he left the hospital he would be back to his annoying, silly, fun-loving and cute self. Suddenly, her cell phone rang. She pulled out to see that it was Naruto. She quickly answered, Naruto, are you okay? You didn't come back. He cut her off, MJ. Get to my lab, fast. Hurry, he said, before he hung up. MJ made her way, arriving as she knocked, but she didn't get an answer. She turned the knob and entered. Hello? Naruto? Aunt May? Uncle Ben? However, there was no one there. She went past the kitchen as she saw that the food was warm. The plate, yes, it was still warm. As she looked around, now starting to get a bit scared. However, she made her way towards Naruto's basement as she swallowed. Naruto? MJ, down here, she heard his voice. There was no panic in his voice, so she calmed down a bit as she made her way down. However, she did not see Naruto anywhere. Looking around, Naruto? MJ, up here. As she cautiously glanced up when she saw Naruto laying upside down in the ceiling, it made her scream, causing Naruto to flinch at the loud scream. He should have expected this, as she dropped his bag and fell on the floor. As she crawled back as Naruto held his hands up to the scared redhead. MJ, calm down. No, get away, she said. As she crawled all the way back to the wall. No, don't hurt me, she said. MJ, calm down, it's me. As she did not see his face properly, just seeing someone on the ceiling. Someone that seemed to be defying the laws of gravity. As she was frightened, that is when she started to see his complexion as he stepped closer, making her see his face. Naruto, she said, making him nod. You were just... She looked at him confused. Take a deep breath, said Naruto. I'll explain everything, just calm down. As she nodded, as Naruto told her what happened, what he surmised so far. So the spider, it wasn't normal, she said. Naruto shook his head. Remember what I told you about the cross-species project? So, you're what? A human spider? She asked. Naruto scoffed as he gave her a deadpan look. Do you see here covering my entire body, he asks. As he gestured to himself, she shivered at the thought of him turning into a giant creature. The best I can guess is the radioactive spider gave me some kind of spider-like abilities. It was what Oscorp was going for, to pass on the ability of animals into humans, so I have spider-like abilities. She raised her eyebrow. Wait, does that mean you'll be shooting web out of your ass? She asks, as she couldn't help herself. She started to laugh at the glare that he sent her way. Very funny, said Naruto, not finding that funny one bit, because he actually thought that something like that might happen, which terrified him. Sorry, she said, laughing. I couldn't help myself, as she calmed her laughter. Her look then softened. That reminds me, where are your aunt and uncle? She asked. They said they were going to the store to get some groceries, said Naruto. As she nodded, so, what now? She said. Well, I don't really know, said Naruto. I mean, what am I supposed to do with these abilities? Study them? Maybe become famous? I have no idea how this happened. Well, I mean, I know how it happened. But Oscorp is still testing this thing. How am I able to do this? Maybe you're just lucky, she said. You do have some amazing luck. As she remembered all the games he won when they went to the fair. He never lost once. You know I don't believe in luck, said Naruto as he moved towards the table. It's something else. As he picked up a folder and a journal. As he handed MJ the folder. Check this out. It's the information my dad had when he was working on the CS project. He was almost able to finish the project, but he died before he could test the final product. MJ flipped through the file as she read the information on it. While she couldn't understand all, she got the gist. Well, maybe Oscorp finished it. I mean, they do have some of the best scientists apart from Reed Richards, Bruce Banner, and Philip Yurge working for them, she suggested. However, Naruto shook his head negatively as he opened the journal. I very much doubt it. In my father's journal, he speak about the formula holding a very special compound, one that only he knew of. He never told anyone what it was, not even Kurt Connors, and nothing else could be used as a replacement. Even if Oscorp found something the formula could use, it would turn out as an error and incomplete. Without this secret ingredient, the current formula should not work. In fact, I should be dead, said Naruto, making her gasp. As Naruto ran a hand through his hair, it just doesn't make sense if Oscorp didn't have my dad's complete formula. How am I successful test subject? Mary Jane bit her lip as she was not sure how to answer it. After a few seconds she spoke up. Well, let's look on the bright side, she said. I mean, you feel fine, right? As Naruto nodded. That made her happy that he was feeling fine. As Naruto's pain was gone, his head was cleared up, and he felt energized. True, while the whole spider ability are shocking, at least I'm not some giant spider thing. He said that smirk, making her smile. So, what now, she said. You gonna peep in the girls' changing room from the ceiling? She was asking with a teasing grin. Of course she was joking. She would kill him if he did that. As Naruto scoffed at her comment, sure, a small part of him thought about that. As he sat in his chair as he placed the journal on his desk. Well, he tried to, as it was stuck to his hand. MJ watched her raise eyebrow as Naruto pulled as hard as he can to try and get it off. Once he did, he tried to maintain his posture of not just doing something like that, as he cleared his throat. No, I don't know what I'm gonna do, he said. In fact, the only thing I can come up with is experiment on my blood to see what makes me so special. And see what I come up with, said Naruto, as Mary Jane sat next to him. Well, maybe you can use your new powers and that brain of yours for a certain job. Naruto glanced towards her. What sort of job, he asked. Grinning at him, she took his laptop as she started to type. As Naruto watched her with a mental raised eyebrow, questioning what she was doing. When she was done, she turned the laptop towards him as Naruto's eyes widened. On the screen was an image of Iron Man, Captain America, the Avengers, and other superhero. You want me to be a superhero? Are you crazy? Said Naruto. There was no way that he was going to become a superhero and risk his life. That was a very dangerous job. Oh, come on, she said. Do you have any idea how cool it would be if my best friend was a superhero? Not to mention the publicity I could give you if I worked for the Daily Bugle. She begged him, but Naruto was not having it. No way, he said. I ain't doing that. I'm not risking my life for some insane plan. If there's one thing I know about superhero business, that their life is always on the line. As MJ pouted, she was about to keep on trying until they heard the voice of May and Ben. As Naruto stood up to greet them, MJ behind him still trying to convince him. Time skip. A few weeks has passed since Naruto gained spider abilities. In those weeks, he's been testing the limits of his new powers. As Naruto was able to lift up weights of 300 pounds, and they felt like they were nothing but feathers. Hell, using the old junkyard, he was able to lift a car with just a tiny amount of strain. His speed and agility was also incredible. In school, he had the top spot for fastest runner, even given the opportunity to join the team. He was able to steal a few cookies from the kitchen without Aunt May even knowing. It took him 3 seconds, as Naruto was able to run 20 miles in under 3 minutes. And using a tennis ball launcher, he was able to dodge them all easily. It was like time itself had slowed down as he was able to move normally. His durability was also enhanced, as showed as he got into a fight with a couple of college teens. He got punched in the face, but he didn't felt it. Hell, one time he was on the roof studying, and he fell off, thanks to a stupid squirrel, don't ask. As nothing was broken, he was completely fine, he just got up. His balance was inhuman, he could lift and hold his body up with just his pinky finger, while standing on top of a building. He could walk and crawl anywhere he see fit. Hell, one time just for kicks, he was on top of the school flagpole, with just his pointer finger holding him up. As he had made his way towards one of Aunt May yoga classes, as Naruto was able to bend and twist himself in various ways, without even hurting his spine. Needless to say, the whole class was shocked and impressed. Not to mention with his speed reflex and his new agility, and his martial arts and boxing, he could be a deadly fighter. He also had a sixth sense. It was like an early warning, an instinct, as MJ had joked about it being his spider sense. And Naruto took well to that name, Spider Sense. All in all, these powers made him even more than the above average human that he was before. Something else he discovered, his brain power was also affected. He was smarter now, way smarter than he was before. He was able to take apart the toaster, tweak it a little and then put it back together in a few minutes. It now burned toast in seconds and it came out golden brown. He was able to dismantle his server and actually boost up the processing network to light speed. He could finish a whole book in under 2 minutes and remember every word. If he kept studying at this speed, he will be almost as smart and knowledgeable in chemists and scientists as his parents were. He also took up inventing. While he was going to go with MJ's superhero theme, he decided that he would take on a bit of an invention spree. With the money that he saved up, he bought Oscorp spider silk cartridges that were strong as steel and sticky like glue. He also bought some stock Enterprise gadgets online, as Naruto was able to create some high pressurized gauntlets that when pressed, release a line of strong webbing. It was able to dissolve an hour after use. It was strong enough to lift up his decks and hold up a large cement block, as Naruto thought of using it to travel like a spider from point to point. The first test trial was rather painful, as well as the second and third, so he decided to start small. At least the webs were able to hold weight. Hey, check this out, MJ said. It was the middle of a school day, and MJ was shoving a paper in his face. As Naruto took it away from her, looking at it, Wrestling Night. Match, Showdown. Crusher versus Bonesaw. Addition to a exhibitioner match. Last 5 minutes in the ring with Crusher and win $5,000. Glancing up towards her, he knew what she wanted. With your abilities, we can totally win the prize money, she said. Naruto sighed as he looked at her beaming face. This girl is gonna be the death of me, he thought. Another one of her insane idea. But I could use the money. I can only get so much from paper delivery, and I need more equipment for my lab. Fine, I'll do it, said Naruto. MJ pouted, come on, you can totally— Wait, did you just say yes? She was so used to him going no, that she was unable to form a proper response and think that he said no. As Naruto nodded, MJ beamed as she leaped forward and hugged him, causing all the students to glance towards them. Great. I can hear the rumors already, said Naruto. According to the flyer, the match was in 2 weeks, which according to MJ was enough time to make him his costume. In the meantime, he needed to prepare himself for the fight. While he was experienced, it was nothing compared to the wrestling experience that he must have after all these years. Luckily, he had Matt on his side, as he watched and replayed several of Crusher matches, but not just his though, several other matches of wrestlers, as Naruto had a lot to do. The 2 weeks fly by rather quickly, as MJ told him that she was coming by, as she had his costume ready. As Naruto was going through a few things, he came across a leather briefcase. It was the same one that was in the office when his father was going through everything when he believed someone stole something. To this day he could still remember the terrified look on his face. As Naruto wondered, what had you so scared, Dad? He thought. His mind was snapped out of his thoughts when his phone buzzed. I'm here. Let's get down to the lab. He read the message from MJ. Moments later, Naruto lab. Mary Jane had many attributes to her. With her desiring to become a reporter one day, she was not afraid to get herself into bad situation, be that a fight or something else. She was a determined person, going beyond lengths to get what she wanted, and she was also not above dragging others with her to get into the crossfire. An example being using Naruto's superhuman powers to win money in a fight. She knew that it was dangerous and she knew that he could get hurt. Believe her, she was just as scared, and she would mentally berate herself for this, but she knew her best friend. Naruto wasn't the kind of person that would charge into things unless someone pushed him, and she could see it. With these new spider powers, he had the skills to become a great hero, but he needs someone to push him. So locking the door with a sign, working session, do not disturb unless emergency on it. MJ sat, as her back was to the chair, as Naruto was trying on the costume that she had for him. She had to say she truly outdone herself with this. Years ago, her aunt made her take a knitting and design class to act like a proper young lady, because she was acting too much as a tomboy. And as much as she hated to admit it, her new skills really paid off, as she had quite the talent for knitting and creating outfits. Half of Naruto and Harry wardrobe contained shirts that she made for them. A little secret, she had a small enthusiasm for superheroes and their costumes. Naruto called it a fetish, much to her anger. At first she went with a wild look, something of a fox, given his whisker marks. But seeing that he was going more for a spider theme with his wall crawling and web shooters, she went to that. The first thing that popped into her mind was spandex. After all great heroes wore spandex. And it had nothing to do with his muscles pressing up against the spandex for her to see. No, nothing to do with that. But she knew that he would never go for that, so she decided to start small. So after many papers and initial ideas, and many money well spent and knitting, she came up with something. Okay, I'm ready, I think. She spun around in the chair as she turned to see Naruto standing there. Her eyes widened as she saw him. From the bottom up, Naruto was wearing reddish brown footwear that was similar to a yoga shoes, leaving the toes and heel exposed, made out of a hard material that was for easy protection and wearing. For pants he wore a black rubber. It seemed to be a wetsuit, similar to that. It went down to his ankle with the shins, protected by guards. For the upper body he wore a black sleeveless shirt and a black and red long sleeve with a hood. Elbow guards, black and red gloves, with his web shooters on the wrist. With the jacket zipped up, it displayed a black spider in the front. She wanted Naruto's identity to be a secret, so she created a red breathable mask that exposed eye holes, which were currently covered by the goggles that Naruto had on. All in all, he looked mysterious and also man-made. As she got up, you look great. She also had to admit, he really worked the black and red. Even with the bright blonde hair, he made the look work. As Naruto rolled his eyes as he took off the mask. I look ridiculous, he said as he ran a hand through his hair. He sure hoped wearing the mask did not give him the beetle haircut. He liked his wild hair. Just then a thought came to him. I just realized something. We're both only 16, he pointed out. And I'm pretty sure it's illegal to participate in the match if you're not 18 years old. Mary Jane simply waved him off. Don't worry about it. With the mask, no one will know your real age. And my cousin Ron is driving us so he can sign you up while I set up the betting pool. Naruto sighed. He was possibly gonna get his bones broken by a 300 plus man. As he shook his head, there was a problem with the plumbing as Naruto had helped. Uncle Ben quickly fixed it. With that, he called out, Aunt May, Uncle Ben, me and Mary Jane are gonna be heading to the library to get to work on a report. Naruto called out, making up an excuse for the fight. He actually felt a bit guilty lying to them. Alright dear, she said. You have your wallet and money for snacks, Aunt May called out. Yeah, I don't know how long will take, so I might be home a bit late. Okay, just make sure to call us at 10 to let us know. Okay, he called back. Now be careful, Naruto. Ben told him as he looked over the newspaper. You don't know what hooligans are out there at night. I will. See you guys, said Naruto. As Naruto was gone, Ben could tell that Naruto was keeping something from them. However, he trusted Naruto so. He believed that whatever he was gonna actually do, that it wouldn't cause him any problem. Meanwhile, when Ron heard that Mary Jane's friend Naruto was gonna be fighting in a wrestling match, he was against the idea. However, Mary Jane made up a lie and told him that Naruto was actually a mutant who just unlocked his powers. Ron was a supporter for mutants, having mutant friends, and he was told that if things got too bad, Naruto would back out. Being over the age, Ron was able to sign Naruto up. As MJ dragged Naruto, Naruto saw several older men who were 7 feet and above. Yep, I'm gonna die, Naruto thought to himself. As he heard MJ was really quiet, he turned towards her. You know, I changed my mind. You don't have to do this. Naruto blinked. What happened to yeah, you can do this, Whiskers? I mean, the whole custom thing was your idea. Planning this whole thing out. As MJ looked around, I was crazy, alright? I was too focused on the money and not really focusing on the actual guys that you were gonna fight, she said, panic in her voice as she saw the guys. They were large. MJ said, Naruto, look at me. Everything's gonna be fine, and besides, yeah, it might be dangerous, but I want to do this. I'll be fine. But you can seriously get hurt. Yes, but that is my decision, said Naruto. And I've prepared for this. I can do this. You trust me, right? She released a sigh. Of course I do. As Ron came back over with a number, the matches were set up in a all battle out tournament. One by one contestants were sent out to Battle Crusher. If a contestant was beaten, he would be kicked out of the ring. If they won, they would be given a chance to take the winnings, or a chance to sign a contract. There were 10 contestants before Naruto. He was the last and the shortest. As Naruto, MJ, and Ron were allowed to watch the matches in the front row, MJ started to panic. Even Ron seemed shocked, as some brutal scenes were being shown. As Crusher was bending a guy, the guy cried out in agonizing pain as MJ placed her face in Naruto's shoulder, hugging onto him. Not so fond of the idea anymore of him going out there to fight that monster. He would crush Naruto. Even Ron wanted to cancel, but it was too late. As Naruto was called, he was given 5 minutes to change into his costume. Naruto turned towards MJ. As it was time for him to get in there with that man, she looked towards him with a pleading gaze, not bother wanting to do this. But Naruto simply smiled at her. As his mind was now made up and he wanted to do this. It's gonna be fine, he told her. But she was still worried despite that. But she believed in him. As Naruto made his way to go and change, unaware that tonight was going to be one of the most horrible nights of his entire life. But guys, let me end subs right here. For once next person, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notifications they posted. Remember, share to all of your friends and social media platform. But I'm off now. See you guys soon. Peace.